show live on Facebook, on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH, and you can also contribute on X, Nigeria Info PH. So I would like us to talk, and I would like us to look at the statistics as seen on one of the newspapers. 17.9 is it billion now? Just give me a minute there. 17.9 trillion naira shared in 1 year by the federal, state and local government. So it's no longer news that we have three levels of governance. We have the national government, of course, the three arms are represented there: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary arms of government. At the legislative, at the national level, I beg your pardon. At the state level, we also have three arms of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial arms of government. At the local government level, we also have the three arms of government ably represented: the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive arm of government. Now, interestingly, we have a system where they share the general resource, mainly gotten from oil and gas. They share at the end of every month. They go for the federal allocation meeting. All the commissioners of finance would go to Abuja alongside the Minister of Finance, and they will calculate. And of course, they have the sharing formulas written in our laws, and then they'll share accordingly. Of course, the lion's share goes to the federal government. The states will have to share the next biggest portion, and then the local governments do have the least portion. About 774 local governments. Let's start from there. It is believed that in about 12 to 15 states, local governments are non-existent in terms of administrations. Now, what we have in those local governments are caretaker committees, right? And the caretaker committees usually dance to the tune or to the melody being played by the governors of the various states. Up until recently, Bayelsa State had not conducted local government elections. We have a political situation in Rivers State. In Anambra State, there is a court ruling now, a court order as it relates to the local government situation in Anambra State. There are many other states where it seems like the state government has somehow suppressed the local government in those states. But allocations are being given to local governments. Yes. What are these local governments doing with these allocations? Whether it is a substantive local government administration or a caretaker, a makeshift local government administration, what is being done with the funds given? Is it something the state governors put inside a box and never bring it out? Is it the local government chairman that we should hold accountable? And then it brings us to another conversation as it relates to who are these people who fill in the councillor positions at the various local government levels. Do they even know what their jobs are as members of the legislative arm at the local government level? Do they even know that they're supposed to be checkmating how these funds are spent, what the funds are used for? Why are we even having this conversation? So in the past one here, we have gone through so many economic hurdles, starting with May 29, 2023, the president saying subsidy is gone, and we saw prices of things skyrocket so quickly, because of course once fuel price goes up, it means that it will affect almost every other thing in society. So we saw that go up. We saw inflation, continue from where it stopped during the Buhari's era. It was also, having that upward trajectory during the Buhari's administration. We saw that also continue during Tinubu's administration, especially because he had made that statement, subsidy is gone. Technically, Tinubu did not remove subsidy, but because he made that statement, investors, people who play major roles in how the economy should travel, began to play according to that statement, subsidy is gone. But that was not the only thing the president did. May the 29th, 2023, he also unified the various windows at the foreign exchange. Under President Buhari, we had different windows for those who were studying abroad, windows for those who wanted to import into the country, windows for, they had several windows. By the way, I do think that Emefiele, who was then CBN governor, is paying some of the questions is answering at the court is related to the various windows that were open at the time relating to the foreign exchange. So when you look at all of these things, they somehow had an impact on the economy. For instance, with the foreign exchange, we saw Naira lose value for months. At some point, Naira was exchanging to the dollar at somewhere within the region of 1,700 Naira to 1,800 Naira to a dollar. We saw the pounds hitting 2,000 Naira. And people were lamenting, people were crying because people could no longer afford basic items. The bag of rice skyrocketed to about 80,000 Naira, right? And a lot of people were saying President Tinubu has come to kill Nigerians. Oh, the economy is biting. Some people say, oh, we don't understand this policy. Oh, 1 year after, I want us to talk. 19.7 trillion naira shared amongst the different levels of government since they removed subsidy, since they unified the foreign exchange windows. However, have we really seen state governors or state governments do the needful as it relates to how they tackle some of the economic challenges that the people are facing? Because I remember very well at the early stages of this government, President Tinubu's administration, he kept saying, or what I say, his cronies kept saying that monies sent to the state and local governments have increased because it meant after removing subsidy that states had more revenue. Have we seen these more revenue at play at the various state levels? What can we hold the state governments by, apart from stories of rice mill in Cross River? I don't even know what the current situation of that is. A rice mill in Cross River in Lagos, some of these little businesses. What can we really say are the contributions of state government as it relates to GDP? Because in the country, we tend to always focus our attention on the federal government. But what really are the state governments doing, apart from some of you will call it brick and mortar, apart from, building infrastructures? The other day, was it last week? I saw, was it in Zamfara State? Now I can't remember. In one of the northern states, they were celebrating as a way to mark the 1 year anniversary. They were celebrating, the building of, was it school? Was it a school now for Amajiris? And I was wondering, is this the contribution, or is it the best contribution that state governments can give to our people after 1 year in office? So I wonder what the contribution is. What economic value are the state governments bringing to the table? But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to go further and I'm going to go further and asking what the local governments are bringing to the table. We keep saying, we need to restructure. And I do agree. We need to restructure. We need to decentralize governance. But really, currently, in the current situation of things, what has the other levels of governance done for its people. And that's what I like us to x-ray this hour on the show. I mean, 17.9 trillion naira is no small money in 1 year. In 1 year, it's almost the size of the 2024 budget. Almost the size of the 2024 budget. But what really has been done in terms of shaking up things economically, infrastructurally, developmentally? What has been done by state and local governments, and even the federal government, because of course they took part in the sharing. I'll go for a quick commercial. When I do come back, we'll talk some more. Just stay tuned. All right, 29 minutes to the top of the hour. You're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kala Kurubat. Well, let's continue the conversations we're having. Just to add or buttress, the conversation that I was trying to introduce to you before the commercial. We've been told that prices of food items have increased. For instance, a survey at major markets in Port Harcourt today showed that staple foods rose by almost 100% in May as compared to prices before the President Bola Tinubu administration came on board. Now, the survey included staple food items like local rice, tomato, beans, among others. According to the survey done by my colleague, the cost of a 50,000, a 50 kg bag of Nigerian rice rose by 97.5% year on year, rising from 40,000 naira by this time in 2023 to 79,000 naira in 2024. A cup of rice, Nigerian rice, rose by 125%, costing 200 naira in 2023 and reaching 450 naira in 2024. A custard rubber of beans rose from 2,000 naira to 6,500 naira in 1 year. And you see, it's so easy to say, oh, Tinubu this, Tinubu that. But the question I want to ask, given that in the last 1 year as well, 17.9 trillion naira has been shared amongst the three levels of government, the states, rather the national, the federal, that is, the state and the local governments. What do you make of that? What do you think that we have failed as a people to hold government accountable in the sense? I remember not too long ago, Serap instituted a suit asking the state governors and the FCT minister to show account of how they have spent monies from allocation. Let's put it that way. Allocation monies, how they have spent it in the past 1 year or since the administration of President Tinubu started. So I'd like to get your thoughts. It's time for me to open the phone line. I'm looking at the prices of goods in the marketplace, and it's a scary thing to see how, for instance, a 25 litre of groundnut oil surged by 58.8%, rising from 34,000 naira in 2023 to 54,000 naira in 2024. A litre of groundnut oil rose from 2,000 naira to 3,300 naira. Palm oil, a litre was sold for 1,000 naira, is now selling for 1,500 naira, and a half a litre for 715 naira. And it's really crazy, really. I can go on and on and on. Talk about old layer of chicken. I could go on and on to talk about all of that, but it's not what's it called now? It's not the prices of these things I'm more concerned about. I'm more concerned about what they have been able to do with the monies they actualized from removing subsidy, for instance, the money they actualized from unification of the foreign exchange window. And these are the conversations that I'm more concerned about. But let's open the phone lines and let's get your thoughts. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, 0817 923 0007. WhatsApp number 0809 030 6416. Maybe we could talk about how, in River State, our conversations in the last 1 year has been mostly political. We've hardly had conversations as it relates to how we can grow the economy. I mean, I've tried once or twice or thrice, but majorly we've talked political conversations. We've hardly talked about how we can, as a state, build our economy. Really, I mean, like I've said, what are the state governments doing to cushion the effect of removal of subsidy? What are the local governments doing? And yet 17.9 trillion naira, almost matching our 2024 budget. What have they done since, let's say, June 1, 2023? What have they done? I've got Anthony from Port Harcourt. Let's get to hear what he thinks. Anthony, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Okay, sir. Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Sorry.
Turn off
I
your
have to
radio,
move away
please.
from the speaker.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to blame the president for the increment of staple food. You can ask me why.
I'm listening to you.
Okay. Now, you agree with me that it's at the national level that the economy of the country can be controlled. And who controls the national level? It is the president. Now, you can question the governors for whatever fund that have been given to them. They can only do justly to maybe they provide security for the people of the state which they govern. But then what controls the prices is the transportation of those goods and the security of those goods.
Anthony, let me ask you a question. So are you saying if we had the 36 state governments competing economically, that we would not have seen prices of goods come down? Is that what you're saying? Imagine if we had about maybe 20 rice factories across Nigeria. We had about 20 mechanized farms across Nigeria. Are you saying the prices of these items would not fall? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it will do it will do so much, but then it will not be as impactful if the president himself would tackle just one particular thing that is causing this increment, which is fuel price, the production of our oil. It is not rocket science. Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
It's not rocket science. Just control it. This is what is controlling the whole. If you watch, the moment fuel goes up, everything just skyrockets. Now, There's a report I heard that is even bottom that Nigeria, we cannot even produce our own oil. I don't know how that is true.
We produce our own oil. We do produce our own oil.
I can't even imagine that a country would even sign that you cannot produce your own oil because you took loans. I don't know how true it is anyway, but it's crazy.
All right.
If the president can just control one thing, let us start producing our own oil that can transport these goods from the producer to the consumer. Everything will be stable.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much.
We cannot start thinking of us now to do rice farming in different places.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony, thank you very much for your time. He says as long as petrol is expensive, every other thing will be expensive. Do you agree? I mean, because when you look at some developed countries, they pay high amounts for gas, petrol, that is. They pay high amounts. So is that really the case? Do you think that once we get the petrol sorted out, everything comes back to normal? I wonder if petrol is the reason why our naira, has not so much value. I'm wondering, but let's get your thoughts. I've got Emeka from Owerri. Emeka, welcome. What are you thinking? I'd like to hear from you.
Kalada, good evening, my brother.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Kalada, this amount of money you called, that trillions of that, calculate good luck 4 years in office. Not up to his 4 years budget during his time.
Okay.
You understand? Yes, we know how life was. Even though complain is a human nature. But I know that time of good luck, all of us are praying for that to come back in this country again. No wonder why Buhari did that. Honestly, and every time Nigeria will invite Buhari, and ask him, why did they say he will miss him? Actually, because we are missing him now. Because I don't know.
They can have the concern taxation as to what you saying that it is only decided to take the leadership by the horn. Is that what you're saying? You made reference to good luck time, but some analysts will tell you that the the challenges we are facing as a nation, good luck was part of it because he did not put certain things in motion. For instance, the refineries were not working as they should under good luck as well. There were so many industries that were not also operational under good luck as well. So, he also was a contributing factor, to the bad leadership that you're making, some analysts would argue.
I disagree.
Okay.
That of good luck. Good luck is one of the best presidents I've ever seen in this country.
Okay.
I must say this. The reason mistake he did that he wasn't so bitter or so tough like the way they are using their power today. I didn't good luck use his power as he said that they have never used 50% of the consider power he has. What is happening today will not happen. It's just because like Fubara and River State that is showing off. They use the something else and do whatever they want to do. You can't compare good luck with economic wise, equity wise, whatever way that what is happening today. You see, when the plan for me, I don't see that these people are going to talk. These people are just experimenting with Nigeria.
All right,
whatever they are doing, they're just experimenting with the life of Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much.
You give a statistics of price of food, 2023 and now.
Emeka, I've got to go.
What I want to say, what you said in my brother. Go to market and see what I'm even as I go to 3 years again. Let's be like it.
All right, Emeka, thank you. I've got to go now. I've got to go. Thank you very much. I've got Origi from Ugbogu. Welcome, Origi. What's on your mind? Please tell me.
Canada again. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome.
See, our problem is not just Tinubu, it's the governors.
How so?
Yes, why I say it's the governors is that you will eat before you pass along the road. If you don't eat, how do you go along the road? You build road here and there, build bridges here and there, and the people are starving. He said Songhai Farm, what is happening there now? I must tell you, during 1983, during the time of Buhari and Idi Amin, there was something we call essential commodity. The military administrator brought it to supermarket. He bought and flourished the market with no essential commodities. So we go there and buy. We were going and queue. Every early morning you go and queue. You buy one bag of semovita, semolina, and all the rest. We put all those things there. Is it continuing again now? No. So if the governors are well-thinking people as we think they are, not trying to cause problems here and there, they should focus on the governance of the state by making the people to eat, we, the commoners. Because what is happening to us now is not happening to him. Whether we are eating, buying Gary 1 naira, he's not caring. Whether we are buying 100,000, it's not his problem. So let him come back and ask people who can tell him about governance. Governance is not about building roads. You build school and nobody's going there.
All right.
People are dying.
All
Look at
right,
hospital. Somebody go there, you pay price because there's no medicine the government buy. You should buy medicine and fill the hospital, do everything, especially the road too. Let the police start to collect money. You will see that people buying food and selling. We minimize selling their goods at a reduce their price. Because you cannot buy food at 100,000. When you are coming, you are paying about 150 on the road. How do you sell it? If you like, let the food cost 1 naira. It will not still make the thing cost low. No, our reason will be high because.
All right, thank you very much. We're not particular about any state. We're just looking at it generally. 17.9 million or trillion. Why do I keep saying million? Trillion naira shared amongst the various levels. Ojimike from Omok. Ojimike, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, welcome.
Yeah, my name is Ojimike.
Okay.
Yes. You see, the way forward for Nigeria is number one. The president, who is a minister of petroleum, should go back to look into our refinery. We are not mad a country to produce crude oil and send that crude oil to a white man country and import fuel and said we have fuel subsidy. What is the meaning of fuel subsidy? It's a political language. Number one. Number two, all the president, ministers, senator, rep, they don't know the price of goods in the market. Their own is only supply, they eat. It is where the government that is suffering. It's when they refer Goodluck Jonathan's period. Goodluck Jonathan, the price of fuel was 100 and if not 75 naira. But when Tinubu enters, And when Buhari enters, the price was higher. Now, Tinubu, people are suffering. Now the price is higher than that of Buhari. So what am I trying to say? The president should look into the refinery and work the refinery. We have the raw materials. The crude oil is here in Niger Delta. They will not refine our fuel here and also export it over and make more money to take care of Nigerian workers. I am in support of NLC strike. For me, it's forward ever, backward never.
All right then. All right.
Are you getting me?
I can hear you, but I've got to let you go at this point. Forward ever, backward never. I get your message. For some reason, we're not able to access the the WhatsApp portal. I think we're having network issues there. So I just keep taking phone calls, and I'd like to get your thoughts on the very issue we're talking about. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230007. What are your thoughts as it relates to, the conversation I'm having? 19.7 trillion naira distributed between the three levels of government. They call it FAC, the Federal Allocation, is the commission now. At the end of every month, they come together and they share money and all of that stuff. I've got Andy from Rupoko. Andy, welcome on the show. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, Canada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
Yeah, I think I heard some person talking about how the federal government has failed. I don't think it's a new thing when it comes to that aspect. If you ask me, if I were them, I wouldn't have even been talking about how federal government should do and what they have done and what they have not done, because right from the onset they have failed us. But I'm interested in what you talked about. How can the local government be able to generate, to support? This is the problem that we are having. Canada, do you know that in our own local government, in all the local government in Rivers State, I don't think there is any local government that does not aim from 500 million naira and above.
Oh, really?
I am telling you the truth. I'm just benchmarking it on that. There are some of them that receive close to 900 million.
I don't know if it's up to that. I think the last time, I think Chid Lloyd had given us a figure, but I can't remember. I don't think it's up to a billion. Is it up to a billion?
They will not disclose what they are getting at the end of the day. But what I'm saying in essence is, when after you have paid workers, there are monies that we should be remaining. Canada, do you know that this local government chairman allegedly, and I think everybody will agree to me, to what I just said now, that they use the money remaining to foot their bills? Because you cannot tell me now, as I'm talking to you now, you are at that making area. We have a fish farm at that making area. How has that fish farm been able to be productive to the extent that it will add to the local government? These are some of the things we are talking about. Go to each of the local governments. They don't have anything generating. All they are after is what? Road. They are after people who are building in the site, in the bush. And those places are being given to political appointees to take over the revenues, and they use them. So what we are saying in essence is, we know, and thank God you have just brought it out. It's a very important thing that everybody should know. How can the local government help to generate things that at the end of the day, federal government will say, oh, since this local government huge amount of money, there should be no need of sending them huge amount of money. Because at the end of the day, workers must be paid. Okay, let's talk about the civil servants. What and what do they generate? At the end of the day, we don't get anything. So it is a good conversation that if the federal government will be listening to you, to charge some of these local government chairmen, okay, look at, they are looking for autonomy. Why are they looking for autonomy? Because they want to be in charge, to be able to foot their luxuries and all the rest of them. But I think it is time for us to wake up. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
All right, thank you, Andy from Rupoku. Well said. Obed from Adler George. Welcome, Obed. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good evening, Canada.
Yeah, Obed, welcome.
Yeah, Canada, I say how many billion? 17 trillion.
17.9 trillion. Almost 18 trillion there.
Wow, such amount of money.
Yeah.
And if you look around, the amount you mentioned, can you be able to commiserate what we have on ground? Which of course, the answer is no. You understand? Look, Canada, a lot needs to be done. I tell you, a whole lot. To channel these funds into at least industry. Okay?
But is that not where we need state governors and local government chairmen? I mean, I'm not just talking River State, I'm talking generally.
That is it. The state government is look, Canada, state can build refinery.
True.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, the money is there. State can build refinery. It doesn't require nuclear physics. Local government can embark on a project that has to do with human capital development. How many industry, how many local government chairmen at least can be able to clear a space and have a farm like local government? Let's call it that way. Local government. Every time market, local shops, and that is where their project it doesn't exceed anything that has to do with local shop and borehole. Who said I would have wanted to drink water all the day of our life? You understand? That is good. But the main thing is, how can these funds can be able to translate at least to affect the people in various federations of this country? That is the problem. And until that happens, we will continue to experience what we're experiencing. The state, the local government, up to the federal. Because, in fact, we shouldn't be talking about federal right now. Because it's bottom to top. That is how government runs. Just that development of start from the grassroots. But what do we have on ground? Nothing. Rather, you see local government chairman. In fact, I just drove past where a local government chairman in this state is building edifice right now. Where has no funds coming from? You know, from local government, and they still tell you that they are not receiving anything. Look, Canada, we need to change the way governance is going in this country. That is the only way, Canada.
Right, then.
Look, the industry, Canada. We need other sector to be able where people can look for jobs and get something at the end of the day.
All right, thank you very much. I think my time is up. I've got a commercial coming up, and after that, the news at 6. We will talk some more when we reconvene after the major news so that we can talk properly.
Oh, Janet, what are you buying there?
It's oil for cooking.
Unbranded oil in the bottle?
It's something affordable and it works just fine.